Hello there and welcome. I'm Kate in the Nest, and this video is a journaling one. Kate makes journals, and it's part of the 100 Days of Junk Journal Ideas, which is a collab with many junk journalers and Rachel and Bella Crafts. So I'm absolutely delighted to be part of this ongoing series, 100 days, and congratulations to the girls. Like, what a wonderful idea. So this week is about textiles and fabric in journals, and I'm an eclectic. If you know my channel, I'm a journaler and a slow stitcher and a crocheter, but basically I just love tactile things. So in my last video for this collab, I was talking about layering, and what I instinctively do is use layers in my work, and I also love combining the layers on the covers of the journals. So whichever one of my journals, these are not finished, I love to, when you feel a journal, you feel the paper and you have textiles as well. So I'm going to talk to you about where I'm up to. I've gathered a little nest of fabrics here. And, I've just given myself a treat and I'm filming in the morning. Before I've had a cup of coffee, but I usually have a cup of tea about now. So sorry. If there's a little rasp. I wanted to ask how you are, and if you're taking part in this series of 100 ideas. I'm just hoping that you've got as many as possible, because all our styles are different and we do things differently, but the best way to learn is to watch others who do things differently. So back to where I was. When I was making, and this is the kit, the second of the kits, which is botanicals, sort of French style, in these beautiful muted colors. So I'm being very inspired by these. The last time, and this is where I'm going to be upfront, the last time I was working in this journal, it was actually in a different cover, which I've now buried. And quite a number of you said you liked that cover, but I felt that it didn't match. So the thing about our art is that nothing is a mistake. We grow every time. So I have actually pulled these signatures off my original cover, and I am going to make this a separate journal, and I'm going to echo it very much on the colors of the kit. And is it echoes? I'll write it in the description. You'll know it's it's an absolute beautiful, absolutely beautiful kit. And these are the background papers. And then I've mixed in my usual style some manuscript, some tea-dyed papers, papers with interesting stories and room for journaling. In no way complete yet, but lots of possibilities. So let's see how we go. And a paper bag always has to be. So what have I done? Oh, I've just shown you. I do journal covers in many different ways. These ones are done on Amazon packaging, paper bags, and I put fabric on the front and the back and machine stitch. And I find this is sturdy, and one can glue or stitch different parts of fabric to them to add interest. And see, there's a little pocket and it says amusement. So these are my influences, but I'm going to try something different today. I actually want to feel that this journal is literally wrapped in the hug of a woolen cover. In my slow stitching, it's my absolutely favorite thing to stitch on blanket. And so I'm going to do a very soft cover and embellish, and then have the paper within it, and then put more and more fabric. So let's have a look at what I've gathered. These are laying around. I've got lace. I've got pieces of vintage crochet and embroidery. I happen to have this, and a little bit goes a long way. This is Tim Holtz's text. Oh, look at that. See, there's amusement again. Oh, and here, I love this. This says eclectic elements. So that always goes well. Oh, there's a little card I had last time. And I have some of my linen that I have painted and dyed myself. Another bit of lace, bit of crochet. These are fabrics that I get from op shops and I use in my stitching. And I also have, this is Rachel from Roxy Creations fabric. I've got a few little bits, and I never call them scraps. They're fodder, really, aren't they? They're what we love foraging for. And this is rather large lace. I thought that could make a nice big pocket somewhere. So that's the idea. We'll see how far we go. So nest there. Once it's done, I'm going to work on the cover separately and show you how I would start this, and then I will stitch the signature in pamphlet style, just three buttons there. So once again, this is this beautiful kit from Rachel and Bella, and I see it, this is me. I have to feel it, but that is giving me the inspiration and ideas for the work that I would do on the cover. So this is cut. This was again a leftover, and I'm going to deliberately, I just need to keep an idea, and I like this idea of a flap that also serves as a bookmark. So it will come out a little wider than that, but these are beautiful gifts and made with love. So blanket and front cover. So I'm just going to sort of finger fold the inside there. And it doesn't matter really, but just to get an idea of proportions, because we're going to work, this is the front now, into the back. Is that right? Yes. So blank bit. Now, a word about stitching. I know many of us do stitching and knit and crochet, and others do paper. I think they're all the same thing. If you can cut a piece of paper and paste it into a journal and manipulate, I think you can stitch as well. So this is a style of slow stitching that is, number one, easy and applicable to us all. And I am a tearer, and if you are not, you can cut or use any of the gadgets. But so just like all these pieces had text on them. I'm just going to cut a few pieces here because I like the word eclectic. I've moved everything around, just better check that I'm in the center. Yep, or enough. Okay. Some different text. I don't think so yet. This is already a corner. I mightn't have enough material here to go very far, but we will see. So I'm thinking that that could be a natural corner there. This is natural coloured crochet, and literally we are going to start stitching to show you that. Just dive in where you want. So I'm going to use the natural holes. Now there are many different ways of collaging, and mine is quite random, I have to say that. But it's as simple as that. So if you have not tried hand stitching and on your journals or covers, please give it a go. So I'm just using the crochet or the edge of the doily holes. We'll go around the corner a little way. So I'm just doing this to keep it in place. I hope you're stitching away or paper crafting away, whatever you feel like doing. I'll just go until this thread runs out. So good for your well-being, remember, all of this with our hands. I'm getting bigger and quicker. So what a lovely idea this collaboration has been. I what, you know, 100 different videos of ideas that will keep us going for a long, long time. And I love that idea of a playlist that you can just skim through whenever you're feeling like it and see the title and have a look. Okay, so I must have done that the wrong way. I folded it in the wrong spot. It's turned it upside down, I think. Okay, so we're already getting the idea. Open, open. Yep. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Okay, and snuggle. And then we can wrap something around. But let's keep going because this is about textiles and fabric. All right, needle still has some stitching in it. Now I want, because this has a little bit of the lemon, I'm just going to take a bit of this off. fabric. I might prop that up there because the colours. Now I'm hoping I've got a different, actually I haven't, so we'll just use a little bit more of this one. And I like to be what I call efficient. So here I've got one, two, three pieces. So I'm going to start on this one. And we're just going to do running stitch again. So 2 stitches that way, across here. You know, there's gentle rain coming down now. It's just the most lovely feeling. Okay, so we've got layers happening here, and I'm going to go across here now. Again, just through the fabric and up. And I like my stitches to be visible. So cover, about there, and already we've got some interest. Does the pink go? A little bit of pink. Can you see that when I hold that up? Yeah, sort of. I'm just looking around my scraps. Before I go more lace, I feel I like that. Out there. And we might do a bit of embroidery on that one. Now we need some. No, Kate, don't get carried away with the pink. I've got, again, a natural, so I should really be, well, there's a pink on the roses, isn't there? So that, in a minute we're going to use a little bit of that. Probably frightened some of you when I said embroidery. My embroidery is more like mark making. Doing really big stitches here to make it interesting. And we could go back down. Oh. Let's go up one more because I like things in threes. Now, as I've been stitching that, I've been looking at this little card here. And I haven't done. I'm just going to put a hole in here. Yeah, I could. All right. So, because this goes so well with the kit, and that's going to be right on the cover. Let's do some really big stitches to get this in place. So don't be scared of anything is probably my biggest message. And that's why I am such a believer in the nest. Gather your bits and pieces around you, even if you don't know what you're going to do. And then the more you work with your hands, the more the ideas come. There we go. And I am bending the corners a little bit, not because I want to, but it's just going to happen. But with my look, that is okay. Let's go here. Of course, I could have glued this. Okay. Takes me back to those little cards that you give your kids to practice their writing on. Okay. So I'm framing this as we go. So that is on enough now. So I'm just going to over the top get this piece down of lace. And I like to gather as well, so let's scrunch this up. Okay, like that. And now back to what I was saying about some mark making. That's one. That's two. And this is three. I'm going to make these like cross stitches. 2 and 3. And then because I've still got wool, let's echo this stitch. So all these stitches have been exactly the same in concept. Okay, that's that. And then here we'll just do a big running stitch, weaving between the holes. Lost in the moment is so relaxing. Now, if I wanted to make this a textile journal, I'd make fabric pages, but because I had the paper, I thought I would show you. Okay. There we are, starting to come together. And I would probably at this point start bringing a little bit more of this colour in. Maybe just, I wasn't intending to use this, but it's the right colour. I would probably put that up there and let that dingle dangle hold over. And then you would open. I put a little pin in there. I would. Now I'm going to talk about the stitching showing on the other side. So it's only those really big cross stitches that to me stand out. So you could do all sorts of things. You could start another layer and just put that in place like that, which I tend to like. The other thing I had talked to you about earlier is making this a pocket to hold your bits, and then you've got all this opportunity on the back. And so we're starting to come round now as well. So let me just fold that in. back up on there. In fact, I've done those sorts of things before. It's lovely to wrap around and you gradually get thicker and thicker. The more you stitch, the thicker this will be. So my suggestion would be you work this front piece and then deciding how much you want to show, you just do simple stitches, or you could fabric glue would be better over there, because then your stitches aren't going to go onto the top. Have a pocket, and then let's pretend that this is already in. We've got a pocket here. And we could put a little fabric tag on that. So then you're marrying the paper with the fabric all the way through. These have already got some fabric. That's Rachel's fabric there. This is a little pocket out of an old vintage doily. This is my fabric, paper fabric, and it has fabric on it as well. So you can see that you can echo the ideas I need to work on here and add some layering, etc. So there we go. I have done a fabric, haven't used that word yet, eclectic. I will probably turn that into a tag or something. Who knows? Okay, my friends, I hope that has given you some ideas on how to use textiles and fabric in your journals, and maybe in a way that you weren't expecting to see today. So until next time, thank you for joining me. I hope you got some ideas, put some bits in the nest. Remember, it's Rachel and Bella's beautiful fabric, digital with fabric, and I love my paper bag. So thank you so much for watching. This is Kate. Until next time, bye for now.